Gateway Credit Union, also known as GCU or Gateway Bank, is different to most banks because it's customer owned, meaning their profits get returned to you as a member instead of profits to the shareholder like Commonwealth Bank and all the other guys. The benefit is sometimes you get lower interest rates or better products because the profits from the credit union go back to you as a member because you effectively own the place instead of the banks which go to the shareholders. But what are Gateway Credit Union's products like? Do they do good home loans? What are the terms and conditions? Do they have sharp interest rates? We're going to answer all these questions today in this review of Gateway Home Loans product. So let's go through my top 5 things that are good at Gateway Credit Union's home loans. Number 1, higher customer satisfaction. Gateway Credit Union members gave the bank really high scores for service, friendliness, responsiveness, and really overall member satisfaction of over 87%, which is huge compared to the big 4 banks whose net promoter score was like 78%. Hopeless. So that's obviously a positive. People that go to Gateway Credit Union are really happy with the service. Number 2 of my top 5 is they actually give pretty low interest rates if you have a big deposit. Now, because Gateway Credit Union's member owned, they're able to offer some really low interest rates for high deposit loans. So what that means is you need to have at least a 20% deposit to get offers of interest rates of like 3.69%. And that's obviously as at today in November 2018. It's all subject to change and subject to credit criteria. Number 3 of the top 5 is they've won a couple of awards. So a few of their home loan products have won some awards from CanStar for having outstanding value and for home owner occupied and investment loans. Really, this is around that cheaper interest rate. Their products and features aren't that different from other banks. Number 4 of their top 4, and I think this is one of their best products, is something that's called the Family Pledge Loan, or it's basically a guarantor home loan where using one of your family members, you can borrow up to 105% of the purchase price on your property. Now, they're a bit different to how some other banks approach this. They don't need to go through your parents or your brothers or sisters' income statements, and they don't make them jump through too many hoops, so it's actually quite straightforward, but obviously you need to use the equity from their home. And number 5, my top 5 for Gateway Credit Union is unique property types. So if you're buying something a bit different like a granny flat or 2 properties on one title or a studio apartment, they're a bit more flexible, and Gateway Credit Union are willing to consider those sorts of properties compared to a lot of other banks that'll just hooey them and not even give you a chance. Okay, so that was our top 5 things that are good at Gateway Credit Union, but what are 5 things that Gateway Credit Union aren't so good at? Number 1, which I think is really relevant these days, they've got way tougher credit criteria. They can be a lot more strict compared to the big banks around your income, how you paid, the type of pay you are, if you're casual. And the other thing they also do, which the other banks don't do, is they physically ring up and do an employment check, which is fine, but it's just another step in the process. You're gonna make sure you tell your boss that they're gonna expect a phone call. So it can be a bit annoying. Number 2 that Gateway Credit Union aren't really great at is construction loans. Now, so while they do construction loans and they're available, from what we've seen, they're not great in the progress payment and when things are actually rolling and if it's any good. So it can cause a bit of a headache with your builder, and it can just be a bit of a pain in the neck, to be perfectly honest. Number 3 that Gateway Credit Union aren't really good at is they're small. So Gateway Credit Union only has about 40,000 members, which is way smaller than other credit unions like CUA, Credit Union Australia, which has over 453,000 members. That's just going to give you, more pull, potentially better rates because there's more people out there and they've got more economies of scale, and also a branch network. Number 4, on things Gateway Credit Union aren't great at is for self-employed customers. Now, being self-employed, you do get a bit of a tough go on the banks, but where some banks might only need the most recent year's tax returns, Gateway Credit Union want the last 2, which again, it's just a pain in the neck. It's giving more information that you don't need to do with other banks. And number 5 with Gateway Credit Union on stuff that's not that easy is people with bad credit. Now, though Gateway Credit Union don't credit score your application, their lender's mortgage insurer does. So if you've got less than a 20% deposit, you can get your loan knocked back if your credit score isn't crash hot. Now, there's heaps of ways around this. Check out our other video on ways to get your home loan declined. And if you got a comment, if you use Gateway Credit Union, you think they're awesome, if you have their savings account, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you've got any feedback, make sure you hit us up at huntergalloway.com.au.